Hello.
Good morning. Happy
Wednesday. Happy hump day.
Welcome to another episode of Conscious Straight Talk with Katie and Lindsey.
Yes. Hi, my name is Katie Hutchinson, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I'm also a certified mediator, and we're so happy to have you guys here this Wednesday.
I'm Lindsey Kearns. I'm the mama behind MalibuMamaLoves.com, and I'm also a certified conscious trauma-informed life coach. So today we're going to talk about something that affects literally 1 in 20 women worldwide, which is a pretty astounding number. Yet most people don't know about it and don't talk about it, and that's PMDD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which is that's what PMDD stands for, is an extreme form of PMS. And I'm sure most of you women know what PMS is, and I'm sure most of you men know what PMS is. It's a chronic medical condition, and right now, treating it is very challenging, and we'll get to that. It causes severe issues in the workplace. It can cause severe issues in the workplace and issues within your relationships. I know it definitely contributed to my divorce. Definitely was a huge factor.
Well, this is definitely a conversation for women, but I think it's really important for men to sit in on this too, because as our partners, communication and understanding each other is a huge part of our relationship. And if we're more understanding with each other of what's going on with the other person, that's going to lead to healthier communication and a better relationship. So this is definitely a conversation we need to have with men and women.
Yes. And most women, honestly, are not even aware of this for a really long time. They don't even know what it is. It took me...
They get called crazy or dramatic all the time, right? You're just being dramatic. Stop it.
It took me 5 to 10 years to figure it out. And I actually ended up having to diagnose myself. But the awareness is key, because I will tell you that my kids will be like, Mommy, I want this, I want that. Just the normal, normal everyday kids. And I will say to them now, Mommy's getting her period. You better just stop. I'm letting you know, just to be good right now.
Setting that boundary.
Setting the boundary. It does. And with my husband saying to him, like, it's not a good time. Don't even try to talk about something serious.
Yeah, that's why we want to have this conversation for the husbands and the partners out there, that when your wife or your partner is going through this situation, a lot of times you want to respond with ego and get mad and escalate the situation.
Well, they want to. Well, and the person with PMDD wants to. Yes. So, okay. So the following symptoms have to occur. I'm not even sure if this is in the diagnostic statistical manual that we use.
I don't think it is. It's still
I don't think it is because it's so new. I mean, I've never seen it. And even with the hundreds and hundreds of people that I've come across in my practice, I've only met about 1 or 2 other people that have had PMDD.
See, now I know a lot.
You do?
I do. I have a lot of friends, and I've had several clients too. It really severely affects them.
Remember,
I had several friends, because this is back in the day, that went through a horrible time.
Yes.
Horrible time until they finally figured this out and got the emotional support that they needed.
But it's hard to get the emotional support because not very many people understand what it is. And it's not just 3 or 4 days of feeling, bitchy. I'm sorry.
And that's bitchy? What PMDD is that it's when you have it for over a year, the majority of your cycles are this way, and you have 5 or more of the following symptoms, then you fall into the PMDD category. What are those symptoms, Katie?
Okay, so depressed mood, hopelessness, a very labile mood, so very all over the map, irritable, angry, hopeless, listless. You're either really hungry, or if you're really depressed, you're not hungry. You're extremely exhausted. Sometimes you can sleep, but most of the time you can't sleep. I actually get itchy. I know that's weird.
No, I know that.
I itch like 2 or 3 days. I actually experience this 17 days a month. Now with medication.
I know with itchy too, I want to jump right in there also and say, because I know other people, they don't just get itchy as well, they have to pick their skin from it.
That is a part of it. That's definitely a part of it. Loneliness, this fear of the world, feeling overwhelmed. Everything feels so hard. I know with me, like I can't even, I start picking myself apart. So I would say definite body dysmorphia. And then even
that awful inner dialogue.
The inner dialogue's horrible. Internal thoughts that are negative, like a hamster in a wheel, just around and around and around. At least I have that. And the other thing that I was talking about when I just said body dysmorphia is I have face dysmorphia when I am getting this. I feel, I just pick myself apart. I just feel so unattractive. And what I do is I just go, you know what? You're getting your period. It's coming. And so you're going to stay away from the mirror and you're going to stop picking yourself apart. I don't know if I missed anything that was, extreme anxiety and shakiness. And then when you get to the physical symptoms, there's so many and everybody has different physical symptoms. But
generally, though, it's more headache, belly bloating,
extreme
body
back pain. And then, of course,
breast tenderness.
And, of course, the lack of energy. And
but it's the disruptive mood swings, I think, that are the most brutal.
They are.
The hardest thing to get over with the PMDD. You go from, being okay and just kind of coasting along to being really sad, like just heartbroken, to being furious, angry. You need to break something.
And the thing is
when you're going through it, it's a hard roller
It's horrible.
coaster.
It's absolutely horrible. And the thing
as the
is,
person looking at you, right, or the other, as the partner watching and saying, like, it's frustrating because you're like, whoa, I didn't deserve that reaction.
Well, and not only
but
that,
when you understand.
Not only that, but people look at you. I know I have experienced this so many times with people going, but your life is so wonderful. You have such wonderful kids and this and that and everything is so wonderful. Well, you're not feeling that. It's what's inside. You're not feeling that. You feel
that's a case of the grass is always greener on the other side. And people judging the book by the cover and saying, you're pretty blonde. You've got everything. You're good to go.
Well, it's not true.
But you can treat PMDD. There are some treatments for it. It's hard work, but it's worth it. And the funny thing is, right before we got on to do this episode with you guys, Katie says to me, well, it's so funny. Whenever I'm eating vegan, I seem to do much better with the PMDD. It's not as bad. And I was like, well, yeah, that's one of the first biggest treatments is changing your diet. You want to increase your proteins and your carbs, and you want to kind of get rid of, if you can, but at least lower sugar, alcohol, caffeine.
Which is so challenging because that's what you're craving. That's what you're craving. The chocolate.
But that's making the PMDD worse.
Yes. Exercise for me is just huge.
That's
it's just as important as medication.
Yeah.
And
you need to have an exercise plan. When you're in PMDD, you are not going to want to do anything. If you have a pre-planned, this is my schedule, I know I'm going to be feeling this way, so I'm going to make myself go up. And like you were saying, exercise a lot of times can be enough to break you out of that mode for the day. It can, or for a few hours at least.
It can definitely break you out of the mold for the majority of the day. Yeah, if you get hard, I need extreme exercise. Everybody's different.
Yeah. Stress management. There's vitamin supplements.
Massages are huge.
Yeah. Your lymph nodes and getting all of the, for sure.
Massages are huge.
Anti-inflammatory meds. There's selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors.
Yeah, and so it's not just SSRIs. That's what you just said, selective reuptake inhibitors. It's not just SSRIs. It's finding a concoction of meds that work for you. Some people the pill works for.
The birth control pill is another
That's
option,
right.
But I think it's really important to go and get your hormones tested and find out what your levels are and equalize that way.
Well, if you can. I've done that too. I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars. I did find out I was very estrogen dominant, but there are all these different types of estrogen. And for me, estrogen cream, progesterone cream, none of that worked. But for some people, it might.
You a nutritionist.
I've already done that. I've done every single thing you could possibly do. Yes.
Yeah, because the causes really are unknown. They don't have a specific, okay, well, this hormone is here and that hormone is here and we just do this and we can fix it. They don't know that
genetic, though. Highly genetic. I mean, at least I can tell you from my family, it's just a long line of women with these problems that didn't know what they were. So 90% of women, before they commit suicide, they're about to get their period.
Yeah.
and which is crazy.
That's a
to
huge
me.
number, and violence is
Mhm.
also linked to it. They're also more
Yes.
prone to violence
Mhm.
in that week before their period
Like people
with
hurting their children.
from the PMDD.
Yep.
The 90% is
It's
just crazy to me. And that's why I'm
insanity.
saying we need to talk about it, both men and women, because we need to know what's going on with our partners.
Mhm.
You know, if they come with some crazy irrational behavior that you're like, well, that's so dramatic. Well, they might be having something going wrong inside of them and they're feeling twisted
Feel
and in a
horrible.
horrible place.
It's horrible.
And so instead of responding with our ego
Mhm.
and escalating the situation, it's handy to understand, oh, hey, this might be something with PMDD. Okay,
Mhm.
Katie, we need to cool down for a few minutes.
Mhm.
Do you think that your behavior is being rational? Like, let's figure this out because I see you're not feeling good. I'm aware of this PMDD. There are options we can do to make it better.
Right. Calling the person dramatic, histrionic, crazy, that's not going to help the situation. It's only going to make the person 50 times worse. I know with me, I am aware now, obviously, because I've been studying this and researching this for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I think I said that I went to over 10 doctors and I finally had to diagnose myself. The thing that is very helpful for me is I will let my husband know and I will let my children know
Mhm.
I am PMSing. I am not in a good mood right now. Don't mess with me. Mommy loves you more than anything, but now is not the time to act up.
Yeah. And that communication is so important and saying, this is where I'm at right now. Just be careful. Help me with
Mhm.
this situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the main difference between PMDD and PMS is that PMDD causes these severe mood swings that completely disrupt your life. So if we all start understanding this more,
Mm-hmm.
we can help these women that are going through this. And instead of escalating and fighting,
Mm-hmm.
we can be understanding and more compassionate with each other.
Yeah. After thinking about it, mine really got worse in like my late 20s, early 30s, and then it just kept getting worse.
Do you think, did it get worse with babies?
No, I was happy when I was pregnant. Happy as a clam. And then happy when I was breastfeeding. And then as soon as that all was done, it all came
So I
back.
wonder if the breastfeeding, because it does stuff with
Probably
your hormones.
with
it
your
probably
endorphins,
balanced your
too.
hormones a little bit.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. And the increase in so many hormones when you're pregnant with the estrogen and the progesterone and
Right.
everything else.
That's all the
So
stuff you're taking.
this is something that is not very widely known, and it's just so important to take the stigma out of it, because it makes for me, it makes me feel horribly when somebody says, just get over it, or what's the matter with you, or your life is perfect. What's the problem? Nobody's
Well,
life
it's
is
how we
perfect.
go back and talk about those neural pathways and like what is happening within our brain and in our brains. This is real for us.
Mhm.
We are people that experience.
It's real.
I don't experience PMDD, but the people that do, they're really in that moment, that panic, whatever it may be.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm saying perhaps more understanding and compassion is what we need to be showing instead of responding from ego and being like, you're dramatic and crazy, get away from me. Instead,
Right.
hey, something's a little off there.
Mhm.
Let's talk about this.
And
let's calm down. Let's break it down.
Exactly. And really reaching out to people that are compassionate.
Almost
Did you
went
almost
down
fall
there.
over? Really reaching out to people that are compassionate is helpful, and saying, just letting it out. Like I'm
And as always, find your community.
PMSing.
This is what you were just saying. You were like, I couldn't find anything
I
for
couldn't-
years, but
couldn't
now
find
there's
anything.
stuff up there,
Mhm.
and our site in our area, we talk about this stuff all the time.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you're not alone. People go through it. It's normal, actually. I think it's becoming far more normal.
Well, I think people are starting to actually recognize that maybe they have an issue. You know what I mean? And that this is not normal, the PMDD, although so many people have it. It's just they don't even know what they have. Like I said, it took me years and I had to diagnose myself.
Yeah.
One doctor said, did I already say this before? One doctor actually told me, like, I'm sorry, you're just in a really bad situation. I mean, you just have a really big problem. Okay, well, that's not helpful.
No,
A Beverly
it's
Hills
not.
doctor, not helpful. And another thing,
But there are some good doctors out there.
of
Because I have a couple
course.
of friends that have great doctors who
Yeah.
right away they were like, this is PMDD. This is like,
really?
oh yeah.
Because I never experienced that. And I realize that, when somebody's physically ill, we look at them and we go, oh my gosh, what can we do for you, blah, blah, blah. You can't see the mental piece.
Right.
And half my life is spent combating this. And it's challenging. It's very, very challenging. And we really need to stick together. Men need to learn about it. Women need to learn about it and talk
What
about
makes
it.
you a great therapist.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, we'll leave you there for Wednesday. We're thinking on Friday, we're going to talk about trauma bonding. Another hard thing to
Be a
discuss.
good thing.
Or not to
talk
discuss.
about.
That's easy to talk about, but horrific and hard to break.
Yes, it is.
So you guys have a great Wednesday.
Yes.
We'll see you on Friday.
Bye.
Bye.